Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I thought I'd take a look at some of the absolute carnage that has been going on over the last couple months, or maybe just the last month, I would say, and then especially kind of pronounced today. I kind of assembled a list here on the right of companies that have just been blown out, and I'm going to go through one by one, maybe spending like 10 seconds on each and just giving my brief take as to whether or not I think they are a buy. I think we probably have some more downside. Basically, the markets are still within 1 or 2% of all-time highs, and the average Nasdaq stock is about 17% from highs, which essentially means that Apple is holding up the entire market currently. So if this cracks or this goes down to like 135, something like that, it could get a lot uglier for a lot of this stuff. So I think that's a possibility. I don't think that's a certainty, but the price is the price is the price that's in front of you right now in the market. So I think some of these maybe it's worth starting to accumulate some of them, but that's not the case for all of them, and that's what we're going to walk through. So without further ado, let's get started. AI. I like this company from an operational perspective. I think it's a great theme. I think it's a great narrative. I don't think it's a great I think it's an okay business. The stock obviously was outrageously valued at $180 at highs last year when it IPO'd. And now at $29, it starts to look kind of compelling. It's still valued at about $3 billion in market cap. I don't know the sales numbers off the top of my head. Let me pull them up. All right, you know what? This is it's going to take forever if I do that. Bottom line, I think you can start nibbling here at AI. Doku, way more downside in this one. I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom. This is essentially a PDF management company, and it was valued until today at like 50 or $60 billion. No, thank you. Palantir's held up relatively well, in my opinion, based on the rest of the market, and it still trades pretty expensively. I don't have again the PE or whatever right in front of me, but I think you can nibble around 18. I think this could see 10 again. If it cracks 8 way down here, I think we're in trouble, but I don't really see that happening. I think there's too much thought and time and analyst, kind of research invested into the company at this point. I think the company's fine. CRM, no strong opinion. I think if you buy this, you're going to do slightly worse than if you buy Google over the long term. I don't really think it's a time to start buying. I think this needs to hit like 200 for it to be interesting to me. Twilio, no interest at all. I've never understood the business. I don't think it's valuable. I am certain that there will be people in the comments who are like, "Yeah, Twilio's awesome." I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. I don't understand the business. I don't like the business. I think it's outrageously valued for what it does. Not going to get into it. Not a big fan. Snowflake, excellent business, not nearly cheap enough. Staying away for now. Asana, this is interesting actually. This one has been absolutely obliterated at lows today, almost off 60%. Obviously, the company had an outrageous run. I think you could start buying chunks here with like a target in mind that it could drop another 30% to like $40. But I like the long-term company here. I think Asana's an excellent company operationally, margin-wise, software-wise. I love the company. So I think you can start. Metaverse play, at least partially. It's partly gaming, partly metaverse, partly kind of SaaS. With the way cryptos and DeFi is going into play to earn, I'm not sure how this does. I do think it's outrageously oversold. I think if this gets to the buy area for me here has always been like 100 to like 115. So if we get down there, I'll maybe take some. ARK, I hate most of the holdings. No, thank you. And has way more downside. DraftKings, I'm not touching. This could easily go back to $10. This could go to $5, in my opinion. This company is trading at 10x sales, and all of its peers trade at like between like 1 and 3. And there's really no clear reason why it's trading at 10x sales. It was trading at 30, where it was kind of the easiest short of all time. Stone is one I put out an idea a few days ago. This one I like. It's basically the square of Brazil. There's lots of negatives with each of those statements, but overall, I like the company long term. I think you can start nibbling. Fubo, no strong opinion. No strong opinion until this gets back to like $10 or maybe even lower. obviously $10 is where it's SPAC'd, and then it shot way up to like $60, back here in late 2020. I don't think this sees 60 again, maybe ever, but I think if this holds this kind of support zone, maybe it's worth a buy. Upstart, I called a huge short on this, literally at like 395 or like 380 one of these 2 days. That short has paid off well. I think this is an $80 company. I'm not going near this. Hood gets interesting at a certain point. It's $18 billion. If we look at like, I don't know, SCHW, that's 140. They're way bigger. Interactive Brokers, maybe they're like a 30 billion dollar company. Hood at 18 billion starts becoming interesting. I don't buy this until it makes a little bit of a base, but this to me is a little bit interesting. Bumble, no thank you, don't care. Schrodinger's an insane buy here to me. I'm not really sure why it's going down other than the valuation. Obviously, high mult is getting smoked, but this company is like revolutionary. The bear case here is Google's getting into the same business that Schrodinger is in, so that's not the best thing to hear, which is AI drug discovery if you're unfamiliar. But this thing has just gotten pummeled since 115 back down to 30, and I do like the company. I like the stock. We'll see how it does. We'll see where it goes. I think it'll probably find a base around where it IPO'd back at like $28. Toast, I want nothing to do with this. This thing is a $18 billion company, probably worth like 3 or 4, maybe a little more, maybe like 8. But no thanks. Vimeo, worst YouTube that no one uses. No thanks. Mara, this is interesting actually. This obviously is playing off some of the Bitcoin and other crypto weakness that's been going on. Obviously, this all-time high here was basically just a giant fake out. We've kind of gone straight down since. Only a few cryptos. Yeah. Even kind of the quote unquote good cryptos. Let's see how AVAX is doing. Yeah. So none of the cryptos are really doing very well. I mean, yeah, big picture, but recently. So that makes sense kind of on the Mara front, which is also highly correlated. Same thing as Coinbase, which we'll get to. I think Mara is a buy, but I think it's a buy at $20. I think if this has one more big day of volatility, you can sell puts at $20 and make an insane yield, like 30-40% year over year, committing to buy at $20. I think that's a good deal. The unit economics for Mara are just unbelievable. Duolingo, don't know anything about it. Stock chart looks like shit. No, thank you. And a plan. I don't really have a strong opinion here. This to me looks interesting. Like we probably won't get it at like 25, but if you can get it around 25, maybe if we have a couple more big days of volatility, you can sell a put at 95. That looks good. Skills, no thank you. Kind of a garbage SPAC, if I recall. This is also has the unfortunate title of being a SPAC, which means that it's not going to trade very well. There's hedge funds that are just plowing into basically short this and RMO and XL and Open and DM and NDM, like all of these companies that have just gotten killed. I don't think. Where did we go? Okay, here we go. I don't think it's any good. I'm not taking it. No thanks. Freshworks. Freshworks is. I think Tradingview. We use Freshworks actually. I think it's a solid company. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anything about the financials, but I like the product. Down 11%. Yeah, I don't know enough here to be frank. Affirm, I think buy now pay later is just a giant. I think it's a giant zero. I know people like it because basically you see massively increased conversion for like e-commerce, but I think people will kind of catch on to the fact that it's literally just worse credit cards. It's more expensive credit cards. So yeah, we'll see. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I thought at $60 it was expensive, and then they announced the Amazon deal. Then it went up to $160. Made no sense at all to me. No thanks. Open, I love this. I think this is a screaming buy here at 14. I like this basically at any price under 70. I've done some kind of napkin math, and this company is worth like probably $150 in my opinion. No one else sees that, so I'm just kind of accumulating. But I think I'll be proven right here when we see kind of further earnings. Zillow is a massive competitor. It literally left the business because they couldn't compete because they were doing so poorly. Yeah, maybe there's some downside with regards to housing inventory as this kind of interest rate situation plays out, but I think it's fine. Apps is a company I love. I liked this way back here, and you can ask. I was a huge bull at like 25 back in this cluster, and I didn't hold it long enough, frankly. I think I got it at like $50. So now that we're back there and the company's done nothing but crush, I think you can start to nibble along. Also, this almost uninterrupted streak of red days for the last month is insane. So I like this company. Fastly to me, I think it kind of has lost the faith of the market. When they lost TikTok, it kind of all the air got sucked right out of this. I don't know enough about the company or the space, but I think if it drops to like $20, then it's maybe a buy. Just based on the fact that they're still growing revenues pretty quickly. Splunk, I do not like. Actually, I take that back. 114. That's interesting. Maybe not yet. I think so. This is kind of an area of demand for the stock. You can see around like 110ish. I'd love to get it at like 95. I think that'd be a good buy. This company is obviously no longer growing as quickly or as robustly, and the quality has worsened since, if you just look at the earnings, right? So it's green, red, huge sell off. Also, early 2020, green, red, green, red. So basically, they've hit. I don't want to say they've hit like a rough patch, but things are changing within the industry that they operate within. SentinelOne, this company's trading at like 100 times sales. Literally a joke if you buy this above $1 billion. Yeah, AI. This is like a show me story. It's just like, okay, wow. AI, cybersecurity. Like, it's like such a sick. It's like DraftKings. It's like such a sick narrative, and then you look at the numbers and you're like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Literally, no one can justify a purchase of this stock. This will be a $10 stock by the end of 2022. Calling it now. DOC and DigitalOcean. I think this company is great. Obviously, it's way overbought and has basically sold off, like almost retraced 50% of that move. Actually, let me see. I do not use retracements much. Let me have a look. Yeah. Oh, okay. Almost exactly to the 61.8. I think we're nearing a place. I like this company a lot. I think it's probably a buy somewhere around 75. If that breaks, it's going back to 50, in my opinion. But we'll see. A lot of this depends on basically the Apple situation, Apple, Microsoft. If they crack, these will all break lower. Of that, I have no doubt. But then again, you'll get even better deals on a lot of this stuff if you like the stock. Square, man, it's expensive. Yeah, they're growing revenues at 50% year over year, but holy mackerel, is it expensive. Margins aren't good enough for me to be excited about this. Maybe at like 120, I'll like it. Maybe that's me being wishful thinking on like a quality company. It's really hard to find a Ferrari for the price of a Kia, so to speak. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, I gotta keep going. I only have 7 minutes left. Space, not touching. Never cared about the stock. Literally just a trading vehicle. Impossible to value. Upwork, I called this company back at $8. You can ask my roommate. He was like, "What's the company you'd buy for the next like 5 years?" And this was like right in the middle of like the pandemic, and I'm like, probably like Upwork or like Fiverr. I love this company. I don't love the valuation. I think buying it here is like kind of like into a support zone, but I think you'll pretty high chance to get wicked out. I think if you buy it at 25 or maybe a little lower, you have a much better kind of margin of safety. Coop is solid software company, super high beta name, high growth, solid margins, good business. I don't love the price action on this, frankly. It's not even like it was breaking new highs and then like DigitalOcean where it just like got smacked out of nowhere. This one has kind of had non-improving price structure for the last 2 years. So it's been a tough 2 years as a Coop holder, and I think there's going to be a lot of overhead resistance as price kind of climbs, as people dump out of the positions that they were down on. So not a big fan. CrowdStrike, this to me is interesting, $100 lower, literally half the valuation it currently is. You can call me picky. Maybe I'm picky. I like the company. I know a person who was responsible was very kind of close to this company, and I trust them, and they rarely get it wrong. And they basically have told me that this company knows what they're doing. This is like best in class. So I trust that person. I like the company operationally because of that, but we'll see. We'll see on the valuation. I think I'd like to get it lower. I think with a lot of these, it's like, oh, they've sold off. Obviously, not all of them are going to do what Peloton has done, where they sell off and then boom, they sell off another 50%. But maybe they will, and maybe we'll get a sick deal. Array, this company is interesting to me, but like probably sub 10. Maybe even actually no, I take that back. This is a pure narrative play, and the narrative's gone. So I don't think this is a buy at all. Dash, never liked the company. People on bikes, $100 billion, no thank you. Or $80 billion, no thank you. No interest. Spotify, I honestly don't know enough about their metrics. I haven't looked at their financials in a long time. You're kind of near this interesting spot here at like 210, where there's like been a lot of demand for the stock, but we'll see. Coinbase, I think this will retest lows. Not buying yet. I even then, I don't know if Coinbase is a buy from like a fundamental macro perspective. I think its only function is basically as an on-ramp to DeFi and kind of tokenomics and the crypto world in general. So whatever. Twitter I love here actually, and I don't love the Twitter product, but I love the move that just happened like an hour ago, where the CEO of Twitter basically fired like a bunch of C-suite people. I think if anything gets the stock moving in the right direction, it's probably a big shakeup. Just where they haven't introduced a new product in like 10 years or something. It's ridiculous. I think this company is probably a 5x if they execute. So I like this. This is interesting to me, but I want it a little bit lower. Melly, this is probably the most oversold stock. This is like Amazon of Brazil. Basically, that's the narrative in 5 words or less. Super oversold. I like it a lot. It's not really showing any signs of stopping though. Maybe we'll get a little something here like 950. This to me probably could go back to 750 though. So we'll see what happens here. It could bounce and rip, but there's no real. No one's buying the stock. No one is buying it. So I think I'm not touching it until people start doing that. Udemy recent IPO. Don't care. No, thank you. Sprout. This is like one of the most overpriced companies I've ever seen from like a valuation perspective. I think operationally they're not that compelling. I don't know. No thanks. ZM. No thanks. Compass. Compass is interesting. Sub 10. $3.9 billion for a real estate broker. Yes, it's a lot, but it's quote unquote tech enabled. I have a friend in real estate, and he's basically said that everything Compass does, everyone else has to copy. Market leaders, I like that. Zillow had a good day today after having maybe the worst run ever in its history. I don't know if it's a buy. I think you could buy and then risk to like this cluster low. Risk 10 points on it. Maybe you make 50 in the long term. I think the chance of that is medium to low. I like the company. I think it's smart they've divested, but man, is that a lot of financial wreckage that they just left behind that they have to sort through. So who knows? Smartsheet, literally the king of trading sideways. I don't know why this is in this list. HubSpot continues to be a champ, absolute stud. This is like a never sell company. I wish I owned this at like $400, but wasn't smart enough to pull the trigger. Atlassian is a similar company to Hubs. It's kind of a never sell, but it's getting smoked. It's way overbought, right? I think if you got to let this come back to like 220, somewhere maybe like a 250. You sell some puts and get some income, and then maybe take some ownership of the stock. I think that's fine. Wix, no thank you. Squarespace, but worse in my opinion. PayPal is kind of in this like little demand zone going on here at like 175, but it could break lower. And with the way crypto's going, PayPal kind of feels like a dinosaur to me, so I'm not sure how long they'll be around. Okay, a minute left. PaySafe. No, thank you. Allbirds, way overvalued. MQ, I really like. I want it lower. Oatly, wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Lemonade, I wanted at like $30. Celsius, insanely sold off. May see a relief rally. I like the company, but it is expensive. Penn, no thank you. I don't like Portnoy a whole lot. I don't like the valuation on a lot of these. I think gambling is way overpriced by the market generally, and Baba uninvestable based on China's ever-shifting landscape, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that was it. That was the top, I don't know. Someone do the math. Maybe it's like 50 stocks, 100 stocks, whatever it is. That's my opinion on all of them. Hopefully you got something out of this, and maybe you can find some stocks you're willing to take some risk on. Everyone have a great weekend. And yeah, have a great weekend. See you guys. Bye bye.